Today, we're going to be going over Delta Airlines Flight 191. This is a very important flight throughout aviation history as it helped us to gain further insight on weather phenomena such as microbursts. To briefly go over Delta Flight 191, it was a domestic service flight from Fort Lauderdale to Los Angeles with a stop intermediate at Dallas-Fort Worth International. Now, this plane was a Lockheed L-1011 that had 164 occupants on board. 152 of them were passengers, while 11 were crew. There were a grand total of 136 fatalities, which means only 27 survived, although these 27 still suffered injuries from the crash. I am now going to show you a clip which contains altitudes and a voice recording from inside the cockpit of Delta Flight 191. You'll be able to hear and almost experience what they did in a way.
American, up 351, if you can make that next time, they're both behind us, and we'll show you what's in line, just frequency.
Lightning coming out of that one.
What?
Lightning coming out of that one. Go ahead. Good leg, Mr.
Delta 1061, across 17 right without a leg, ground 0.65, if you cross. 17 right, Delta 1061. 351 across 17 right, ground 0.65, if you cross.
I know you haven't had it for the last 5
Delta 963 and American 619, cross 17 right, ground 0.65, if you cross. 351, you copy the cross? Yes, sir, on the way, Mr. 351. Thank you.
About feet. 762 in a barrel. I'll call it off.
Alright.
North American 178, turn the corner. Yes, sir. Everybody around the corner when you're number one. American 156, contact.
I'm going to lose it all of a sudden. There it is. Push it up. Push it way up. Way up. Way up. Way up. That's it.
American 626, close to takeoff.
Speedway.
American 586 in the position of 17 right.
Pull up. Pull up. Push it way up. Pull up. Pull up.
Right, turn off traffic, some mile per hour.
I believe the model that best fits this aircraft incident would have to be the Swiss cheese model. Now, as I'm sure we all know, the Swiss cheese model involves hazards that start at the bottom that go all the way through, leading to losses. Now in this case, the hazards were weather and the losses were lives. Now, I'm sure nobody wants to end up with deaths. It's not a good thing in any way. But I feel like they could have definitely avoided this outcome if they had paid attention to things such as the radar, such as maybe not so much air traffic, because air traffic wouldn't have necessarily known to divert them either. But the radar had shown a weather mass right at the end of the runway, which I believe could have easily been avoided if they had just delayed the flight or potentially gone around to a separate runway. Then they could have avoided loss of the lives, which would have wound up better in the end. The next clip I'm going to show you, while a little bit dramatized, helps to further explain the microbursts and show you how exactly so many people died because of this.
The needle is a microburst, one of the deadliest and at the time most poorly understood weather phenomena. They've taken down airliners before. But as Delta 191 makes its approach, there are no warning systems that can effectively alert the pilots of the danger they're in.
Prior to 1985, the radars on board the aircraft were built to detect thunderstorms, essentially heavy areas of precipitation. They were not effective, they weren't even designed to detect the microburst.
If you're at the kitchen sink and you turn on the water and it goes straight down and it splashes out in all directions. And that's kind of what a microburst is, except that it is extremely bad news if you're an airplane flying through it.
When a plane hits a microburst, it encounters a complex and powerful set of conditions. Downdrafts and tailwinds batter a plane. It's a deadly combination. Just short of the runway, Delta 191 flies into the microburst.
You're gonna lose it all of a sudden. There it is. Push it up. Push it way up. Way up. Way up. Way up. Hang on to the son of... He's gonna crack.
I had decided that I would interview a current air traffic controller, and for anonymity's sake, let's just call him John Smith. I had asked him, do you think they could have done anything to avoid the microburst at the time? He had replied with,
at the time, the weather detection systems were not advanced enough to detect the microbursts. Pilot reports from the previous aircraft could have given an advance warning to possibly avoid the microburst.
The next thing I had asked him was, have you ever had any issues with microbursts in your air traffic career? If so, how often are they an issue? What he had said was,
yes, I have dealt with microbursts in my career. They are usually associated with colliding fronts within thunderstorms. Working in Florida, thunderstorms, low-level wind shear, and microbursts were a common occurrence during the summer months.
The third question I decided to ask him was, do you think they could have done anything differently once they entered the microburst? He replied with,
controllers could only solicit and disseminate pre-ups more often. I'm not sure what the pilots could have done once they entered the microburst.
The last question I had decided to ask was, what would air traffic do once they are informed that a plane has entered a microburst? His answer was,
control is notified they have to pass along the information and route pilots away from the area.
Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and here are my citations.